Brent Thomson was raised in a racing family, and horses consumed his life long before he was boosted into the saddle for his first race at 15 years of age in 1973. His father, Kevin, was a trainer in Wanganui, and there was little doubt the son would follow in his racing footsteps. It quickly became apparent that Thomson was a racing prodigy. His horse skills and winning style had the apprentice in big demand and saw the media dub him the Wanganui Whiz. Thomson's enduring youthful countenance and public appeal would see him awarded another lasting moniker as the Babe. The winds mounted, and in 1974, this invitation to ride in the Benson and Hedges at Riccarton was to open the door to a stunning international career. Thomson was so impressive in winning on Fury's order, the owner wanted the apprentice to ride the horse in the 1975 Cox Plate. It was an incredible endorsement for Thomson, who looked such an innocent going into Australia's premier weight-for-age race. The Babe showed the veterans he had the big race temperament.
On the turn into the straight now, Kiwi Can led Fury's order out after it from Tara's Bulba, clear of Analyte, but it's Kiwi Can striding away in the straight, Fury's order under the whips battling on. Kiwi Can going to the outside fence, Fury's order's picking it up. Kiwi Can stopping, Fury's order's going to win. He's drawn level and Fury's order took the lead now. Kiwi Can struggling on, but Fury's order's 1.5 lengths to Kiwi Can.
Thomson returned to dominate the New Zealand scene and grab more Group 1 victories. However, the wanderlust that would direct the rest of his riding career had him heading back across the Tasman in 1977 for a second tilt at the Cox Plate, this time on Family of Man.
Luskin Star, Vice Regal, Raffendale coming again, and they're followed then by Unaware, but Family of Man's in front, and Raffendale's running on well, but Family of Man causes a surprise. He's going to win by 1/2 length to Raffendale, Vice Regal third.
The Australians recognised a champion jockey, and veteran trainer Colin Hayes convinced Thomson to make a permanent move across the ditch in 1978. He celebrated with a third Cox Plate.
Family of Man got to the front. So-Called came at it from Caravan. So-Called and Family of Man. So-Called put his head in front, and So-Called's coming away with a Cox Plate. He's won at 1.5 lengths. Close to the minors. Dead heat. Family of Man, Caravan.
It had been a golden few years for Thomson, and it was about to get even better. The partnership with one of Australia's leading trainers prospered, and Thomson soon claimed the first of 3 jockey premierships, the first non-Victorian to claim the title. The Babe then teamed up with the mighty Dulcify, and together they won the race that Thomson would regard as a career pinnacle, the 1979 Cox Plate.
At the 400, Dulcify shot away 2.5 lengths, imposing. Then Shivery under the whip from Arbor Shane and Gypsy Kingdom. But Dulcify well clear. Brent Thomson going for his 4th Cox Plate, and he's got it. He's home, Dulcify. He's 6 lengths in front of Shivery, and then Arbor Shane imposing, stopping. Dulcify's won by a minute, and that's the way he might win the Melbourne Cup. Dulcify by 6 lengths to Shivery.
4 rides in the Cox Plate for 4 wins, and the first jockey to win 3 years in a row. Thomson had been riding high for so long, the racing gods determined it was time to balance the ledger. Sadly, it came 10 days later in the Melbourne Cup. Dulcify was the favourite, but broke down in front of the huge Flemington crowd and couldn't be saved. The Hayes-Thomson partnership initially ran for 6 successful years. Thomson set a city record with 4 wins from 6 rides in 1980, and then improved on that with 6 winners at Balaclava in South Australia in 1983. But the travel bug was never far away, and Thomson was lured to Europe to ride for Robert Sangster. It was an environment that captivated the 24-year-old. And he was an instant hit with 30 winners in the first 5 months against fierce opposition. Off the track, he soon adapted to a jet-set lifestyle, which often involved travelling between different European racecourses 7 days a week. 2 race victories from that era remain entrenched in Thomson's memory. One was the Gold Cup at Royal Ascot for Sangster in 1985, Britain's most prestigious event for stayers. The other significant Ascot win was the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes on Shoreblade in 1986 for Sheikh Mohammed and the Godolphin stable. Thomson says it was a race plan that worked to perfection. Successful globetrotter would be an apt description for Thomson's riding career over the next decade and a half. He loved the international travel and the challenge of racing in all environments. Thomson would eventually mount up in 24 countries and kick home more than 2,500 winners before finally calling it a day in Macau in 2000. Thomson rode into Melbourne in the 1970s and wrote himself into the history books with his dominance of the race regarded as the Southern Hemisphere's ultimate test of a thoroughbred. He's now based there, but is still very much a racing traveller at heart. Thomson's work for New Zealand Bloodstock ensures his connection and involvement with racing remains strong.